Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't vaporware? What is happening? Mattmade here, bringing you the top 3 gaming news stories from the week. Let's get into it. Now, first off, we have Capcom reveals more details on Iceborne and shows off a few things. Monster Hunter World team revealed details about the Iceborne expansion in a live stream they did a few days ago. Now, the expansion itself will be coming out on September 6th, and the expansion is priced at $39.99 if you currently own Monster Hunter World. The Monster Hunter World Iceborne Master Edition also has a physical complete edition for $60 standard and $80 for the deluxe. Why the price point like that, I have no idea. I would consider that to be like $20 if you already own the game, and the Master Edition being like 70 or 80, as not to, shun the people who've already bought your game. It's a very odd decision. Capcom is being very weird about this pricing. Now, there are a lot of new monsters, new things, new features in this update, in this expansion. Obviously, there are new monsters. There are new snowy areas. Emphasis on snowy because they said that a lot in their live stream. And all new gameplay mechanics. It's really cool, and you can do a lot of new, interesting, fun things. Now, one thing they introduced that I really like is that you can now make and craft warm drinks. Because since you're in the icy area, you have to craft warm drinks or find hot springs to sit in to keep yourself warm and not like kill all your stamina immediately. This harkens back to the other installments of Monster Hunter, where you had to craft warm drinks, cool drinks, had to find whetstones to keep your weapons sharp, had to track monsters with the tracking bombs or the markers. It harkens back to the original play style of Monster Hunter World while keeping the combat fast and pretty streamlined. Master Rank was also announced, which is this game's version of G Rank, so that's awesome. You can get all new cool things. I'm excited about that. I love the difficulty in Monster Hunter, the other Monster Hunter games, and I'm ready for it. Some of the monsters look really cool, like obviously have the snow version of Lobby Sloth, or I can't remember the water one. It escapes me right now, but the pretty much the ice version of Lava Sloth. You had this like ram T-Rex thing, which me and my girlfriend just decided to call it Big Moo, because it looks like it'll go moo. You had really interesting monsters. They do a lot of different things. Like Big Moo will pick up a tree and like have a super wide hitbox or throw some rocks at you, so it has a lot of range. Really interesting and in-depth things. Now, they also teased a monster returning at the very end. You hear a monster's cry or roar. And people believe that this is Tigrex or Tigrex, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it actually, a fan favorite and a monster people wanted to see return. But we'll see if it's worth the price and the cost of admission. $40 is pretty steep for just an expansion when you can buy the entire game with the expansion for $60 and a steelbook for like $80. That's a bit rough, and I'm gonna buy it to play it, but if you're on the fence about it, I can't say one way or the other yet, because the $40 is a killer, like 20, 25, 30 max, but $40 is rough. But we'll see if the expansion is worth it. We'll see if the new Elder Dragon is cool. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll see if the Elder Dragon's, fun to fight, interesting, and we'll see what exactly is in this expansion on September 6th. Next up, we got a game that everybody thought was vaporware. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It got shown again. It's like every time you think it's vaporware, they're like, no, it's still here. Here you go. Here's a little sprinkle. We'll be back in 5 years. So, it'll come out in 2030 on the PS5. It's fine. Now, they showed off a lot of the game. They showed off a few gameplay aspects. They showed off the story, which is still pretty much you're in Midgar. You're not, you haven't left yet. This is not past that. They showed off Aerith. They showed off Barrett. They showed off Cloud. Like they're doing the bombing run, so it's kind of progressing. And yes, I said Aerith and not Eris because it is Aerith. Fight me in the comments. What up? Tifa appears in the party, but you just don't see her. And give us our waifu, please, Square. Just, damn it, give us our girl. Like, I wanted to see what she looked like. I want to see how she was altered and changed. I want to see if they kept all the plot points. You know, I'm interested in that. The plot. The combat itself looks pretty action RPG-esque. Think like Dissidia or Final Fantasy 15. I enjoy those combat aspects. I'm okay with turn-based RPGs. It's just not my cup of tea because it's a bit slow and it's just a bit slow. But games like Disgaea, I love. I did love Final Fantasy 10. I did love. I love the look and feel of Octopath Traveler. I've watched people play it. I'm just like, yes, this game looks amazing. But they're just not. I'm just not hooked on those types of games. So personally, I'm glad they're going the more action RPG route instead of the classic JRPG route. But again, it's been 4 years since we've seen it. That's 8. 4 years since we've seen anything on this. Anything. And now they're like, hey, we're going to show you more June 6th. Sweet, cool. Give us more. Let us see more of the gameplay. Let us see more of the characters. Let us see more of the interactions between the two. Give me more Barrett. Like, in the game, you're able to actively switch between the characters. You're able to pick. You had Cloud, and I think L2 was Barrett, and R2 was Tifa. It could have been reversed. But you're able to actively switch between the two. And at one point, they showed playing as Barrett and just shooting people from a mile away. I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Give me this now. Unfortunately, it's still going to be episodic. I don't know why they're doing that. Honestly, just release the full game. But it could probably be like 10 more years if they try to do something like that. Given how Nomura is, like, that blade of grass is not perfect. Fix it. Scrap the whole thing. Also, it was who was doing originally like CyberConnect 2 or something like that. And Square didn't like how they were doing it, and they just like chucked it away. Like, no, give us this back. We're taking this back in house. We're gonna fix this. So that's also a reason why it's been taking so long. So I understand. It just feels like this game's just vaporware at this point. But again, we're getting more information in June. Hopefully we get a release date. Hopefully we get a crap ton of gameplay at E3 or something like that. That would be fantastic. But I'm on the lookout for this game. I'm curious as to how they're gonna price it and how many episodes. Because if it's 3, because there are 3 discs, if there are 3 episodes, that's cool. But if they do like 5, then that'd be a bit odd. They could split it in half. That'd be dope. Just give us part 1, part 2. I'm fine with that. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you wish they kept the old JRPG turn-based style? Or are you fine with this new action RPG style they're going for? Just pretty much your thoughts on the game so far. Last up, we have the US government is looking into cracking down on loot boxes. Now, currently the government is investigating loot boxes, and a bill is being proposed that will crack down on them and take them out of games. Now, this is specifically targeting like children's games or games minors could be playing, but that's a lot of games at that point. I mean, that's everything rated E to T. You know, that's most games. That's what most games are hitting, like Overwatch, League of Legends, Smite, Battlefield, and they have loot boxes. Any EA game, any Activision game, a lot of those have loot boxes in them. So that's a lot of games. It's like massive amounts of games from these giant publishers. Now, the angle they're going for is that loot boxes are gambling, which I totally agree, and they should not be accessed by minors, which I, again, totally agree. However, that can quickly become a slippery slope. There's so many games. There's a huge swath of games that are going to get hit by this. It's going to be just blanketing everything. I mean, not all games that minors play are targeted at minors. Battlefields, your Call of Duties, your Overwatches, your League of Legends, many of those games have professional players and casual players who just were like, hey, I really like this skin, here's my money. Or hey, I really like this skin, give me a chance to get this. If this bill passes, a lot of those games just aren't gonna have anything like that anymore. It's safer to just pull that completely out than having to change your rating for a game. Less people can play your game, less revenue. Those big companies don't want that, so they're just gonna pull them out and try to figure out a way to nickel and dime you, like, I don't know, passes, or maybe they'll just do the smart thing and be like, hey, here, if you want this skin, $5. If you want this skin, $2. If you want this gun camo thing that goes over your gun that doesn't affect it, $1. It's like, something like that would be smart to do. Now, this bill hasn't been passed. It's just being proposed. They're talking about it. They're working out the details. But I'm worried because things like that, when you get like children involved and say, hey, minors are doing this and they're at risk and they could get hurt or get addicted, then people or politicians especially jump all over that because it makes them look good. And no one wants kids getting hurt or addicted to a game or anything for that matter. So unfortunately, something like this will be implemented heavy-handed and really just blanketed and not taking into consideration all the factors at play here. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you live in the US? Are you worried about this? Are you from a place who's already banning loot boxes? I know China is like saying, hey, you have to show the percentage rates of these drops. And I know a few places just outright banned them, I believe. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts about one or all of the stories. I love to hear them and I love speaking with you. And don't forget, if you're a fan of gaming, consider striking that subscribe button and hitting the bell. This is Mattmade, and I'll see you tomorrow.